Hello world, we're in Echizen, which is a 75-minute train ride from Japan's former capital, Kyoto. The thing about Kyoto nowadays is there's a ton of tourists. It's for good reason. It's a mesmerizing place, but yeah, lots of people. Over in Echizen, you can get hands-on experience with traditional Japanese culture without the crowds. Echizen is famous for a few things. Cabinets are Echizen Tansu, paper are Echizen Washi, or knives, Echizen hamono. These are all traditional Japanese crafts. And to tell the truth, I'm not much of an arts and crafts guy. I appreciate artwork, but I'm much more of a sucker for practicality. So that's why when I saw the Echizen Tansu, the cabinets, I was surprised that they had a lot of it. The biggest one was that some of these were meant to be mobile, as in, if there was a fire, you'd push or pull these away. I think this was something the merchant class had, so think records and money. And speaking of money, some even had a built-in abacus. The real fun thing about these, though, were the secret ways to open them up, as well as the hidden compartments. This, by the way, is the not-so-secret compartment for your katana. The first shokunin we visited was a master of Echizen Tansu. I find the word shokunin difficult to translate because in English people often say artisan or sometimes craftsperson, but it's probably more akin to a master. Like, you can't just make a few cabinets and call yourself a shokunin.
明治以降だんだん手抜きされてこっちばっかり。
これが結構大変なので、
これがだいたい1712年ぐらいのこの古い作品を見て作ってるんですけど、で普通は表だけなんよね。この後ろの方もきちっと全部。でこういうものは前見て後ろ見ると分かる。いいか悪いか。で何でも作るんです。タンスだけでなしに。
今タンス以外にはどういうもの？
何でも。
何でも。名刺入れも。
名刺入れも小さいもんやとね。ポスターかなんかにしようかと思ってこう切って。何でもやっぱ。で何でも作るんです。私は学校出てからやで18からかな。何もできんけど18から一応。
Remember how I talked about the crowds of people in Kyoto? So this is a major shrine in Echizen called Otaki Jinja. No one was there. This shrine was originally a Buddhist temple in the Edo period, but in the Meiji period became a Shinto shrine. As such, this place has a mix of both Buddhist and Shinto design elements. It's such a tranquil and gorgeous place. So, these mobile shrines are what kami can ride in, and twice a year, they are run up the mountain behind the shrine during the Washi Matsuri, our paper festival. Last year in 2018 was our 1,300th time doing the festival. 1,300 years. Wow. The guide was telling me that people carrying the shrines can have specific sores on their shoulders from the weight, which is called mikoshi-dako. These are pictures I found online, so I'm fairly sure these are more extreme examples of it. But yeah, people do get calluses on their shoulders from carrying these heavy portable shrines. The nice thing about visiting the shrine during non-festival time is that you can really spend your time looking at the details. Right around the shrine is the heart of the washi, or paper, production in Echizen. Nowadays, this factory is how paper is made en masse. It was quite neat to see all the machinery in action. But what I think most people come for is the handmade paper, Echizen Washi. Like the cabinets, paper was something that I thought I would have little interest in, as I've tried to digitize everything I can in my life. Yet, seeing what these shokunin can do with paper is quite impressive.
この楮三つ股雁皮の皮だけを使います。 でエチゼンではこの麻も使っています。この構造を似たもので水の中で水中で取ることで繊維がこう広がってより仕事しやすいです。ちり寄りしたやつをここへ持ってきて叩いてほぐします。
Traditionally, they hit the fibers, but nowadays they can use a machine to do it. If you use the machine, the beater, you only need 30 minutes of hitting. But if you're only going to do the manual way, it can take half a day.
だんだんとこう柔らかくほぐれてきます。そして見ますか？ファイバーちっちゃいね。ちっちゃく見えますけど和紙の中では長いです。構造はこれだけ長さがあるのでこう絡んだ時に強い紙ができます。ここまでするのに何時間も叩きます。昔の人はすごい偉かったと思います。電気がない時代。この中にエチゼンの水、とてもいい水あります。水と先ほど叩いた繊維ですね。でもう一つ入れるのがこの練り。この練りはトロロアオイっていう植物の根っこから。これ根っこですね。で濡れた紙を重ねてここに伏せていきます。でこの後圧力ここです、こういうプレス機で水を切って1枚ずつ板これで乾燥します。特徴はすごい大きな紙をついている。私は今一人で紙すきしたけどこれは4人で紙をする大きな道具で。
Many people can get together to make massive tapestries like this. They can also make fusuma, which are the sliding doors found in traditional Japanese homes.
Echizen和紙を見た時にたくさんの種類があったんです。一種類じゃない。素材もそうだし大きさもそうだしデザインもたくさんあってでそんな作り方が知りたくて私はこの世界に入ったんですけどもでそれをできるように20年以上この仕事に携わってで行き着いたところはこのシンプルな構造の紙やったんですけどもチャレンジ精神がある産地だと思います。自分がこういう風な紙が欲しいなっていうのがあればこの産地に来て職人に相談すれば自分だけのオリジナルの紙が作れるはずです。はい、工芸士として今働いてますけどもやっぱり紙を作る紙をすくっていうところが淡々としててまあでも自分と向き合って自分の感覚で仕上がるところの工程なのでそこが一番好きです。大変なところは今この全体を見ると材料ですね。まあ自分で育てればいいんですけどたくさんの材料いりますからやっぱ育ててもらってます。その育ててる人がやっぱり高齢で後継ぎ問題ですよね。後継者問題が一番大変に私は思ってるところです。
Echizen actually has an art camp program, so people from around the world can come to learn the Echizen way of making paper. For example, this is the work of a French artist. These dragons on the fusuma are by a local Japanese artist, and he also painted dragons for Ryusen hamono, which literally means dragon spring blades. Echizen uchi hamono were my primary interest in the visit. A couple years ago, I saw some YouTubers sharpening and restoring knives and was inspired to start doing it with my own. Ever since then, I've been wanting to invest in a good knife and thought visiting a factory where they handcraft the knives would be a good way to buy art that was also practical in my everyday life. Or if I'm being honest, my wife's, because she does the majority of the cooking. And before you start with the comments, I do pick up the slack in the laundry, bathroom, and dish departments. I knew that there was the possibility to make a knife on the trip, but I was much more interested in seeing the masters at work. But I was really glad that I did get to try my hand at it, because boy, does your respect level for the craft go up after only a few minutes of trying to do it yourself. What seemed quite effortless through the camera lens suddenly became incredibly difficult when in my hands. Wow, they must be really strong. Oh, yeah. The precision of using the auto hammer was such that you had to press just hard enough with your foot to get it started, but not so hard that you hit the soon-to-be knife with too much force. What surprised me was how manual the whole process was. So much of it seemed to be done by touch, by feel. Checking on all the little imperfections and taking something that seems incapable of minor adjustments, a hammer, and hitting it out. I actually made a whole video about how Echizen uchi hamono are made. I'll leave the link in the description. I'm also making another video about my experience with choosing and using my new handcrafted Japanese knife, which I'll also link to once it's done. If you want to get hands-on experience with some of Japan's traditional crafts, I don't think you can go wrong with Echizen. During the whole trip, I kept on thinking about how much my kids would have liked it, especially Shin, who goes to art class every week. I'd really love to take him out to one of the family workshops where he can make his very own paper, like this. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye. What are some good handcrafting experiences you can do where you're from? This one's locked, right? Dekinai. でも、こうやって